So I just got done watching Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. This is one I've been very excited to see. Now, if you've seen my original review of the first movie, that might take you by surprise because I didn't like that film at all. And it wasn't so much a concept issue or a screenwriting issue. It was they just simply didn't have the budget to pull off the storytelling they needed to really engage the audience. Now, in this film, they got a huge budget increase, and it ended up being the movie that I wanted the first one to be. Now, if you haven't seen the first movie, don't worry. Pretend it's not there. This one almost erases that. It tells the story of the first. It fills in the gaps. It lets you know what's going on, so you don't have to feel like you got to watch that to understand this. Just go right into the second one. You'll be fine. Now, I know that this kind of movie, Winnie the Pooh out killing people, it's not for everyone. Matter of fact, it's probably not for most people. But for horror fans, we love this low budget movie stuff. It gives us something outside of the box that you're not getting from the big production companies. They want to stick with the same, what feels like 5 or so topics. They revamp it a couple different ways and they just keep spilling out the same stuff. We want something different. This is different. All right, this is entertaining. And they focus on the entertainment aspect instead of perfection. Now, they do a really good job in this with making the characters way more believable than the first, because the first was simply just somebody in a latex Halloween mask trying to kill people, and they wanted you to believe that it was a real animal humanoid creature. Didn't work. But this one has real makeup, really great special effects, and it was much more believable. I had a lot more fun engulfing myself into each scene and each scenario because of that. Now, in this film, Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger are tired of being hunted by the people of Ashdown and living in the shadows of 100 Acre Wood, so they decide they're going to step out and take the fight to the people of Ashdown. And this ends up being one blood-filled, gory massacre. Now, this movie isn't perfect, but trust me, the pros definitely outweigh the cons here. Now, I will say this movie is very well aware of what it is. It's not trying to be something it's not. It's campy, it's fun, it's a little goofy, and it's out there, and it knows it. It plays on that. And it even kind of makes fun of itself in certain scenes. It'll throw you a line to where it'll make you chuckle a little bit because it's almost making fun of itself. But in that regard, that's what makes it entertaining. Now, Scott Chambers plays Christopher Robin in this, and he has his own story he's trying to tell. He's struggling with the murders and the massacres from the first film, which, again, are explained in this one, so don't worry about it. You're not going to miss anything. But he is being prosecuted by the rest of the town because they believe he's the one that committed the murders, and they don't believe that the story he's telling of a humanoid bear and a pig trying to kill everybody. It just sounds out there, and they don't believe him. And then once Pooh and Piglet and now Owl and Tigger all come out of the woods and bring the fight to them, now it's a different story. Now we got to believe Christopher Robin and what he's been telling us. Now, Scott Chambers definitely played this role with a lot of emotion. It was very believable, and you almost felt bad for him in a lot of these scenes where he's just trying to move on with his life. He had these childhood traumas. He's trying to overcome recent events, and it was a story of not only Pooh, but Christopher Robin too. It was definitely a fun story of overcoming adversity and, frankly, his sanity. But on the other side of the fence, we got Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger, and Owl is definitely the one pulling the strings here. He's the ringleader behind all this. Pooh is described as a bear of little brain, and Owl just convinced him to, you know what? Here's what you need to do. You need to go out here, kill all these people in Ashdown, take back our wood, and Pooh just eats it up. He just does whatever Owl says. He just kind of points him in that direction, and he just starts slaughtering people. And I love all the very unique ways that he does kill people. I mean, this is a very gory movie. It's very bloody, and they find everything they can to use as a weapon in here. Now, he does have a bear trap, which is kind of his signature weapon, but he uses it in a lot of different ways that are very unique and fun. But then we have Tigger, and this guy is just an absolute loose cannon. I don't even think Owl can control this guy. He just opens up the cage, lets him loose, and just like terrorize everybody. Just rip everyone to shreds, and he does just that. It was so much fun watching this guy. You can definitely see where the actor Louis Santer took inspiration from a lot of older horror characters, especially Freddy Krueger. And I say that in a very good way because I enjoyed the sarcasm. He had these lines and dialogue that were just very, very entertaining. Piglet, on the other hand, total opposite. He's kind of timid and doesn't trust anyone. He's a little reserved. He's angry and he wants his revenge, but he's not as ferocious as, say, Pooh or Tigger is. One thing that the movie did touch on that I was so glad they did was Pooh and his friend's origin story. Where did these guys come from? You can't just tell me that these animal humanoid creatures just magically appeared in the middle of a 100-acre wood. So we get that backstory, and it is dark and twisted. It is not one I was expecting, and it was actually really well thought out. I kind of enjoy it. The origin story actually ties in a lot of things from earlier in the movie that may seem to you like, I feel like they cheaped out on this, or the scene or the costume doesn't look just right. And you're like, oh, this is where the low budget film stuff comes into play. And it's not. You find out later in the movie that the origin story played into why this character looks this way or why they're doing this. And then it's like, all right, now I got to applaud the creativity of the team that made this, because that's why I came to see it. This is the reason I love low budget films. Now it's not just some Winnie the Pooh slasher film. There's more to it. And I'm sure the audience for something like this is a lot smaller than you probably think. But those who do enjoy it, like myself and the group of guys I was sitting next to in the theater who were also having an absolute blast, I got a chance to talk to them. Unfortunately, I didn't get their names. Sorry, guys, if you're watching. But this is the stuff that we like. This is the stuff that we're looking forward to in Poohniverse. And we'll just have to wait and see how much farther this goes, because there is going to be a Winnie the Pooh 3, and they touch on that at the end, and even in the credits, they give you sketch drawings of some of the other characters they're going to be using down the road in other movies, and in the Poohniverse, like, collaboration movie that is in the works. So there's a lot to look forward to. I think a lot to have fun with if you can just open up your mind to something new, something out of the box. And you know what? It might be the thing that tips you into the low budget horror genre. If you saw the movie, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. And if you haven't already, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe button on your way out. And I'll see you at the concession stands.